So when you go to practice your scales, consider adding these 3 elements to your routine. So first and foremost, we're going to start with a major scale, but this can be applied to all of the other scales that you learn or that you're learning at the moment. So major scale, you can play that up and down till you're blue in the face, but you have to add a little bit of variety to the scale that you already know in order to internalize these different sounds. Just to internalize these different sounds and harmonies that they create with just a simple major scale. So first and foremost, you know that's one way you can play it up and down. Another element that you can add to that is playing it in intervals. So say for instance, playing in thirds or playing it in fourths. Playing it in fifths. So that's one way you can do it, just using the intervals, or sixths. There's so many different ways you can do that. So I did thirds, fourths, fifths, and sixths, playing those intervallically along with the major scale or any scale that you've learned. Up and down. Playing it ascending and descending. So that's one way you can do that and use that to your advantage. That way you can skip strings. You'll get comfortable with playing that type of movement. And I'm skipping the E string to the D string, from the E to the D, and then when I get up here, the A to the G, all types of different combinations. Okay, so that's one way. I don't want to talk about every separate way. I don't want to use that as one way to practice it. So just intervals, using the third, using the fourth, using the fifth, the sixth, the seventh intervals. Try practicing that and challenge yourself to figure them out as well. Another way you can do it is consecutively. Just playing these notes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, you can do it different ways. So consecutively playing 3 notes, playing one note and going back to the note that you left off on. So 1, 2, 3. Get what I'm saying? So I'm playing 3 consecutive notes, going back to the second note of the scale, playing 3 from there, going back to the third note, well, not back, well, starting on the third note of the scale, playing 3 up from there, starting from the fourth note, 3 up from there. You get the idea. Get the idea, right? But it's such a great practice tool to get your fingers warmed up. If you just want to do this as an exercise or a warm-up, there was one that I played in the beginning. That's 4 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you get the idea. Playing it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last note. That's a little bit tougher. I never really did the fifths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting from the fourth note, fifth note, sixth note, seventh note, and then the root note or octave. So just challenge yourself. There's 2 different ways right there. Intervals, consecutive. You can play them back and forth. The thirds. What I'm doing there is I'm going back to the original note. Okay, so I'm playing different variations of it. I'll have some of these written out too as well for you guys. 2 different ways, intervals, consecutive. Another way is just practicing the scale in 2 octaves. I get a lot of people that tell me they get stuck in a rut or they get to this plateau and they don't know exactly which direction to go. And that's mainly 99% of that is because you didn't start with the basics. Or if you started with the basics, you didn't learn enough or you didn't do enough when you were there. So that is due to just because, you know, learning the basics is pretty boring. You know, it's not really made to be fun. You have to learn it. It's like drills. You don't really look forward to learning the basics or doing these different types of drills, and they don't really melodically sound pleasing. And I get it. I understand that. But if you were to start with the basics, or if you went back to the drawing board, there's a lot of stuff that you probably will discover that you missed. And being able to come up with certain things or to practice different things will become a breeze because you have all of these elements that you can work with to add to your routine. I tell everybody that all the time. Just go back to the basics. No matter what level or what skill you are right now, go back to the basics. If you're stuck in a rut, there may be something that you forgot about. So sorry about that, went off on a rant there, but let's go to the next element, the 2 octave scale. So check it out, guys. If you're really interested in diving a little bit deeper and taking that next step to get your playing to the next level, the link will be in the description. That'll take you to sign up for a free trial to become a member of the Bass Nation Academy. There's so much to benefit from this community. There's live classes, there's video Q&A sections. You get personal feedback from me and just be able to interact with the other players inside of the academy. It's an awesome place to take your playing to the next level. And there's a lot more inside of the academy, but I won't go over that right now. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get to the lesson. So there's several ways you can actually play this major scale, different shifts and things that you can do. You can play C, D, E, F. You can shift right there or go to the next string down, or you can shift with your 4th finger, your pinky, to the F. We have 2 options. And then go down to the G from there. Shift again. And if you're unfamiliar with the 2 octave major scale, there's a few lessons where I talk about how to position and which fingers to use to play this 2 octave major scale and minor scale. I think we did several different types of scales to be able to play in 2 different octaves. And it's very beneficial to know the 2 octave scales because you're not just, you know, tied down to one way or one register of the bass. You can only play it. Who wants to be stuck there all the time? So you can branch out. I played the wrong note there. Now you have all of this room here to work with that you didn't have before. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm going off a little bit there, but you get what possibilities there could be. So let's go back to the beginning. Intervals, consecutive exercises, and also 2 octave major scale. So that's just one scale that I use, and I didn't even go off into another scale. That's just one major scale. You can do it with the minor scale. You can do it with the melodic minor scale. You can do it with the harmonic minor scale. You can do it with the, what scale didn't I say? All the different types of scales. It doesn't matter. Any one. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're learning right now at the time, you can do this with any scale. Bebop scales, it doesn't matter. You can always utilize this same exact format to be able to develop some new ideas and some new phrases. But anyway, I didn't want to make this too long. 3 different ways or 3 different elements that you could add to your practice routine when you're practicing scales. Make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. If you have any questions, you guys know exactly what to do, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.